and welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English Edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. The Minister for Education receives a large delegation from the Marif Foundation. MEMFOP partnership. And on the international scene, the war against Gaza, Israel fails to justify accusations of genocide by South Africa. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. As part of the cooperation between the Republic of Djibouti and the sister Republic of Turkey, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, received a delegation led by the President of the Marif Foundation at the Center for the Training of Basic Education Teachers, Umar Ghel Ahmed, on the morning of Thursday, January 11th, 2024. Discussions between the Minister and the President of the Marif Foundation focused on the implementation of a partnership protocol signed last year between ITER for the Training of Basic Education Teachers, Umar Ghel Ahmed, and Turkey's Marif Foundation concerning the teaching of the Turkish language to students in this year's terminal classes wishing to travel to Turkey to pursue their university studies. MEMFOP's objective is to teach the Turkish language to future students so that they can enter the Turkish universities of their choice directly from the first year. The pilot phase courses taught by Turkish teachers from the Marif Foundation will start next week at the CFEEF and will be held 2 days a week after or for 3 hours a day. The Minister and the President of the Marif Foundation welcomed this innovative and benevolent initiative as well as the excellent cooperation between the two countries, particularly in the field of national education and vocational training, and saw for themselves the excellent high standard training facilities set up by the CFEEF to host the language training. A foreign delegation from the Nantes Education Authority, led by the Director of the Academic School for Continuing Education, carried out a working mission from January 7 to 10, 2024. The purpose of this mission, in which EAFC and the National Institute of Teacher Education of the Academy took part, was to explore partnership and collaboration prospects with MEMFOP entities in charge of initial and in-service training for teachers, supervisory staff, and school managers. This mission follows on from the framework agreement signed on June 1st, 2023 between MEMFOP and the French Ministry of Education and Youth. This framework agreement aims to strengthen and structure cooperation in education and training through a number of priority areas, including initial and in-service training for teachers and supervisory staff. The delegation from the Nantes Education Authority was able to carry out a number of field visits and observations in primary, general, and technical high school classes, as well as focus group discussions with local players, namely teachers, school heads, pedagogical advisors, and trainers. The preliminary meeting held at the MEMFOP office and chaired by the Secretary General provided an opportunity for officials from both ministries to present the missions of their respective entities, as well as the modalities for implementing initial and continuing training. MEMFOP also gave a brief overview of Djibouti's education system, highlighting recent advances in enrollment, equity, training, and supervision, the Integrated Rural Schools Project, the Accelerated Education Program targeting out of schools, and the Teach and Coach assessment and coaching tools were of great interest to the Nantes officials. The technical meetings held at the Teacher Training Center and the General Inspectorate of National Education enabled fruitful exchange and the sharing of information and experience, facilitating the identification of needs for expertise in the fields of initial and in-service training. At the end of the tour, the French delegation from the Academy held a debriefing meeting with senior MEMFOP officials, during which they expressed their enthusiasm and a very positive impression of the Djiboutian terrain and the expertise of the Inspectorate General and the CFEEF. The meeting to formalize cooperation between the Nantes Academy and the MEMFOP targeted specific areas of mutual collaboration in initial and in-service training and supervision, and also discussed support for the MEMFOP in the inclusive care of special needs pupils. The Djibouti National Police Hospital organized a joint blood donation operation with the National Blood Transfusion Center. Police volunteers turned out to donate blood to replenish the CNT stock and meet the needs of national hospitals, as well as supplying their hospital's blood bank to meet the possible needs of the National Police Hospital's maternity ward. This new maternity unit, which is part of the Universal Health Insurance Scheme, is intended to help improve medical care in our country. In fact, the general management of the National Police have invested massively in the success of this day. This demonstrates the degree of involvement and the strong determination of the National Police Command to remain mobilized in all sectors where the needs of the Djiboutian population will be felt. Moving to the regions now, where Ali Sibih Council held its first ordinary meeting of the year 2024 on Thursday, January 11th, by Regional Council President Mr. Sharmanke Hassan Alale. The first gathering of regional elected representatives began with the reading of a verse from the Holy Quran, followed by the national anthem. The president of the Regional Council opened the meeting with a unifying speech, wishing the elected members of the Regional Council a Happy New Year. It was a concise and brief address reminding us that the First Ordinary Assembly marks an important milestone in our commitment to the development and progress of our region. Following his speech, the president of the regional decentralization body gave the floor to each of his colleagues, local elected representatives. The Secretary General of the Regional Council, Aden Abdullah Ali, was also present. During this ordinary general meeting, the debates presented by some members, the questioning of their colleagues, and their proposals took place in an atmosphere of respect and the spirit of democracy. From Ali Sibih to Obokh, where this morning civil society in the Obokh region announced its close collaboration in an ambitious development program called Italih Abit. The program's starting committee began a vast awareness-raising campaign at the start of the week. They began with meetings with associations, followed by fruitful exchange with elders and neighborhood leaders. Among the dignitaries present were the prefect of the region, Mr. Musa Adam Migane, who opened his speech by saying that a program initiated by women is half a success, and the acting president of the regional council, Ahmed Ali Sheikh, who explained the importance of uniting for sustainable development. As for the representatives of the deconcentrated services, they confirmed their commitment and contribution to the success of this program. The program aims to catalyze community efforts, encouraging collaborations between different entities in the region to build a prosperous and sustainable future. The next stage of the program will be unveiled in the coming weeks, marking the beginning of a new era of cooperation and growth in Obokh. Under the aegis of the Secretary of State in charge of sports and the Federation of Tennis in Djibouti, affiliated clubs held a great award ceremony in the multipurpose hall of Al-Hajj Hassan Guled Aptidon Stadium. The event shone as a significant moment honoring the young members for their exceptional efforts and dedication. Beyond individual recognition, the ceremony served as a platform to highlight the fundamental values of Taekwondo, such as humility, respect, tolerance, and honesty. The presence of Nigerian expert Master Imuru Asimi Mubarak was more than a symbolic state, a source of inspiration for young Taekwondo practitioners who learn a great deal from him. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, South Africa's Minister of Justice has claimed that Israel has failed to justify its position at a session of the International Court of Justice where it is accused of genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza. Speaking to journalists outside the court in The Hague, Ronald Lamola maintained that South Africa remained convinced that it had presented a convincing case against Israel before the ICJ. Nearly 85% of Gaza people have been driven from their homes. A quarter of the enclave's residents have threatened with starvation, and much of the northern Gaza Strip has been reduced to rubble. At a press conference in Abuja, Major General Edward Buba, Director of Defense Media Operations, stressed the importance of raising citizen security awareness and providing information to support military efforts in Nigeria. He assured the audience that the military would act of credible information, adding that Defense Headquarters' call for the year 2024 was to locate and eliminate terrorists, depriving them from the ability to terrorize citizens across the country. Well, by this, our beloved viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening.